Hello, how are you? Happy hump day. It's Wednesday. It's midweek. How are you doing? Welcome back to this channel. There are some things to get into, and this video isn't going to follow like really any rhyme or reason, really just a lot of things that are on my mind and things that are happening within. It ends with never. But just some things that I've been clocking and been like looking into and I found really interesting, as well as we're going to go over some things happening with Perez Hilton in Nevada. I want to circle back to some thoughts on Isabella Ferrer, which I've had in the last couple of days, and then just go over some things that I have found pretty interesting that's been going on and just some little things, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Well, I hope you're having a great day. Without any further ado, get the emotional support lip gloss. Let's see where this train takes us, baby. You are in frame with Mandy Magnan. Now, right off the bat here, I had someone send this to me today. Thank you so much. Y'all are just like the best sending me stuff. And I read this whole article, so I didn't really care that Rob McElhenney is now changing his name to Rob Mac because no one can pronounce it right. Me, remember when I did the whole deep dives on this man, and Ryan Reynolds could not say his name, but maybe that's why. Maybe there's a change, you know? I just impact change everywhere I go. No, I'm just kidding. He is changing his name to Rob Mac. It's official. He doesn't want to be Rob McElhenney anymore. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, you do you, bro. Like, now it's easier for me to drag you when I need to drag you and your little boyfriend there crying Reynolds. But what I thought was very interesting is lower in the article, it says this. Elsewhere in the Variety cover feature, the actor opened up about being diagnosed as neurodivergent and how it impacted his marriage with his wife. Mac, who was diagnosed with neurodevelopmental disorders at 46, revealed at the time that it answered a lot of questions for me that I've always had about my life and the trajectory of my life. Olsen added that a neuropsych called me and had a long discussion with me and was asking me all these questions. Well, it's really nice that he's opening up about this and is now very open about his neurodivergence, which is quite interesting because y'all remember in Blake Lively's first amended complaint, Blake Lively, with illegal, in my opinion, shammy text messages that she should never have, actually gave us Justin Baldoni's medicals. Yeah, when she liked to leak that he was neurodivergent. This was a text message between Justin Baldoni and his publicist, Jennifer Abel, which Blake Lively was able to obtain with a sham subpoena through a fake lawsuit with Van Zandt. Yes, that's right. Shady, shady, shady. And then disclosed his medical records with everyone in her amended complaint. And it says, likewise, Mr. Baldoni strategized with his publicist, Miss Abel, about various ways in which they might cover up or explain away his on-set misconduct. On June 24th, 2024, for example, Mr. Baldoni proposed an offensive move showing neurodivergence and some way of his attributes that come with it, to explain that anything that he had been accused of was social awkwardness and impulsive speech. The message from Justin Baldoni says, hey guys, one thing I think I want to do is the Dr. Amen show. Matt and I know you have your feelings about it, but his practice saved my friend Marinda's life a few months ago. With everything going on, I want to have an offensive move showing my neurodivergence and some of the attributes that come with it so that I can start talking about it. Most anything that I have been accused of is social awkwardness and impulsive speech. And I think me sitting down with him and just looking at my brain and talking about how some of these things will be helpful for me. That doesn't seem like he was trying to cover up anything. He's saying that like all of the things that he's being accused of is just impulsive speech and social awkwardness. Obviously, Blake Lively was up on her high horse. She thought very poorly of Justin and Jamie from the beginning in her own text messages when she called them creeps and clowns. I'm not making this up. In her own complaint, this was May 2023, the beginning of filming. This was just days into the first day on set. She was texting somebody who is friends with her as well as Justin, who we all think is Liz Plank, calling them clowns. Calling them clowns. Yep, right on set. Right on set. Calling her employer clowns. And then further along, she does it again, where she calls them creeps and clowns. That's what she was going behind their back, calling them on set. The very first month of shooting, this was first days of shooting. That's what she's telling other people about them. And I believe in my heart, just seeing how self-aware Justin and Jamie are and how open they can talk about their emotions and things like that, they seem like, pretty open to energy, and they probably sensed that and can tell like what was going on with this bully Blake Lively. But here she's trying to use his neurodivergence against him, leaking his medical, when now you have Rob Mack, Ryan Reynolds' Wrexham buddy, coming out and saying that he's also neurodivergent. And that doesn't seem to be a problem for Cryan and Snake. So I just found that actually very, very, very interesting. It's not going anywhere. I don't have any other thoughts on it. I just clocked it for sure that it's quite interesting timing for sure. Also for him to, be talking about neurodivergence when Blake Lively leaked Justin Baldoni's neurodivergence and tried to use it against him. And next, I just want to kind of recircle back to Isabella Ferrer because I have thoughts on this whole thing, like more thoughts. First, I just want to say how brilliant it was for the Wayfarer people to do this. Pretty much stating that like, hey, Isabella, you don't want nothing to do with this? Good. See your way out, right? Like, get out of here. We don't need you. You're fine with us. We won't use anything from you. You don't want to be here. We're not going to force you. We're not going to harass you. We're not going to bully you into this. You can go. See ya. But also, Blake can't use you either. And let's just be freaking clear that Blake was the one that brought you in here in the first place. And they even say the Wayfarer parties are willing to stipulate that none of the parties will use any communication to, from, or concerning Miss Ferrer or any testimony from her in any manner in this action. So now they're leaving it in the hands of Blake Lively to decide whether or not she's going to release Isabella Ferrer or keep her claws on her or make her in this case. I mean, now it's really on Blake Lively to make the decision of whether or not she is important to you, because we are only here today because of Blake Lively, and Isabella Ferrer is only here because of Blake Lively, because it says right here that it was because she put her in her amended initial disclosures as an individual likely to have discoverable information. Easy peasy. But then I went and looked back at Blake Lively's second amended complaint. I really want to show you this because I was thinking, well, how many times did she talk about other cast members' experiences versus her own? How many times did she try to drag everyone else in here instead of talk about her own experiences? So I looked at her second amended complaint for cast members, meaning she's talking about other people's experiences versus her own, right? It's supposed to be personal, subjective, and objective to you for sexual harassment. And I just wanted to know, and would you be shocked, probably not, to know that this has been brought up over 60 times. So I'm just going to show you here, if I scroll down to where I've searched cast members in Blake Lively's second amended complaint, look at all the time she talks here about other cast members. Just by searching other cast members in her complaint, she's talked about it 16 times just by other cast, 16 times. 2 times when she says another cast member. Let's look up female cast. If you look up female cast member, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, look at this. All another cast member. So there is no question here that Blake Lively has dragged every other cast member into this thing. She brought it up like over 60 times, other people's experiences. Which then doesn't surprise me that Isabella Ferrer in her complaint uses the word harass against Justin Baldoni over a dozen times, like the repetition. But I just want to let you know that it's not Justin Baldoni who's harassing you by giving you a subpoena. Blake Lively brought you into this when she brought up other female cast members, dozens and dozens and dozens of times, as well as in her initial disclosure. And the only thing that she mentions about any of the behavior or text messages or any information she has is here when she says, meaning the Baldoni team sought to respond to Ms. Ferrer however they wanted, not actually allowing Ms. Ferrer to provide the documents that reveal the true facts. Well, reveal them, girl. Reveal them. If you're trying to prove your case for you and Blake Lively and all the other female cast members who were so severely harassed by Justin Baldoni that Blake Lively had to mention them over 60 times in her amended complaint, now's your time to shine. Prove your case. Use your voice. Say what's going on. Prove it one way or another. One way or another. But like, you can't just state something like this. Not allowing Miss Ferrer to provide the documents that reveal the true facts. Well, they're trying to allow you to do it. Your lawyer went ghost. And in all the emails that were sent back and forth between the Wayfarer lawyers and her Michelin Man lawyer, they were trying meet and confers, narrowing the scope, trying to do indemnification. They were willing. They were like, okay, let's do it, but we need to make sure like what is being covered, what isn't being covered. Let's talk. And also we have subpoenas for you. Are you going to accept service? All of a sudden, oh no, he's gone. But yet he's not gone enough to write this, right? So instead of you writing this letter, you could have just accepted service and then filed a motion to quash and or had meet and confers to narrow the scope down or try to get out of this thing. But like, you can't just ghost them when you already accepted service for Miss Blake Lively. And here, if you say that you have documents that reveal the true facts, where are they? Show them. What's the problem? And also noting and clocking here is he brought up this whole AI case that Mitra, the lawyer for Justin Baldoni's team, who's handling Isabella, that they cited an AI hallucination case. My gosh, to support a frivolous legal position. I find this interesting because then he says that he tried several times in writing as well as verbally to ask her what the case was and she couldn't provide it. So it's AI hallucination, But then he never cites the case and or doesn't show any of the writing correspondence in which he said that he asked her several times to provide the case number. So this also is fishy to me. And I think was also trying to paint them in a bad light, because if you had the case that they were citing that was fake, why didn't you put it in here? If you really wanted to give them a little 1-2, why didn't you put it in here? That would be like an ace in your pocket, wouldn't it, for this letter? Just a thought. Now, I did receive a DM from one of y'all. It was really nice. Thank you for sending it, but they really want me to speak about the sexy comment. And this is what the message said, because it's very important, because there are a lot of information and tons of things going on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it says, can you please make a post and or video about the sexy comment so people understand why he said that? She said it multiple times before he even said it. And he said the character Lily Bloom would look sexy if she takes the jacket off. He never said that Blake Lively looks sexy. Just because she is confused and cannot distinguish between the character she is playing and herself doesn't mean the rest of us have to see it that way. and you know how people run with it without reading everything. So I think this needs to be cleared up. So please do a post and explain why the word sexy even is mentioned. And then she's saying that she's been asking a few of the content creators to talk about it. So here we are. Let's talk about it. I am going to do like a comparison between Justin Baldoni's complaint and Blake Lively's complaint. Let's start with Blake Lively because dang, she has sexy in her complaint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. 9 times she put sexy in here when he only said it once, and it's referring to one incident. A little bit of an overdoer, you know what I mean? Getting that word count in, baby. But let's talk about the incident that she claims he said she looks sexy, which is very weird because if y'all know Blake Lively, y'all know Blake Lively. There's text with her describing the character as sexy. There's text with her using sexy to Justin Baldoni, sexier, talking about the beanie, etc., etc. I mean, there's interviews with her doing this movie talking about being sexy, talking about the rings, the fashion, the wardrobe, the shoes, the all of it, the entire fashion. There's an interview with her on a radio station right after filming this movie, doing PR for this movie, where she openly talks about making her toddler a birthday cake of tits. She uses that word, not boobs, and how, you know, they don't know what it is and did like crazy stuff. Like she exploits herself more than anyone else does. Okay, we've all seen it, right? But this is what I thought was very interesting. So this is the incident from Blake Lively's second amended complaint. First of all, let's just talk about this. Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath were always constantly hugging and touching cast and crew. Girl, there's videos of you getting out of a car with your little security guard and running up to Justin Baldoni and hugging him. There's pictures and video of your husband, Ryan Reynolds, on his set hugging a bunch of people. If you ever worked on a set, guys, it is tense. It is long days. You literally become a family. Okay? So that already, I'm like, get out of here. Shut up. Like hugging. We're here because of hugging. Okay. It says here, when Miss Lively or others avoided this touching, Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath would retaliate by becoming irritated, cold, and uncollaborative. I'm going to try to find the video where she is running up to Justin hugging, if I could find it before this video is done. This is what it says. Mr. Baldoni often referred to women in the workplace as sexy. When they expressed discomfort, Mr. Baldoni would deflect or try to pass it off, which undermined Miss Lively and others' concerns. I would love to see those concerns. Who did you tell? Was it in writing? Did your lawyers know? Who did you report to? Where are the concerns other than your shady 17-point demand? Where were the concerns? Where were the texts? Like what? Where? Who? Like it just doesn't make any sense. And let me tell you, being called sexy is not sexual harassment. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not. Now, if they call you sexy and you say, excuse me, I really don't like that. I don't appreciate it. Can you please not do that at work? And they say, okay, I got you, heard. And then continually do it, then it becomes harassment. But if he just says it and then you are all still Gucci and Kiki and then you're behind his back gossiping with other people because misery loves company and mean girls flock together, it's not. How, it has to be unwelcome and pervasive, severely, and also objective and subjective to a regular person. Okay? Let's continue. For example, on one occasion that Miss Lively observed, he told a female cast member that her leather pants looked sexy when she arrived to the set. When she rebuffed his comment because she was uncomfortable, rather than apologizing, he brushed it off with, I can say that because my wife is here today. Miss Lively felt embarrassed witnessing this kind of commentary, as did others. Obviously, that's Jenny Slate, because who else would it be? But honestly, then why didn't, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, but, showing up somewhere and then, someone just being like, wow, that looks really good. Damn, that looks sexy. Well, it's like, okay, then just say, pull him aside and be like, I don't feel comfortable when you do that. I'm sure he would have been like, okay, time out, heard. We're like, especially if what he's getting back from these women, especially Blake Lively, is that kind of banter, is that kind of, hey, no teeth, like, I bite no teeth, like, you'll see it. Do you want to do it in person? Or like, she was openly flirting with this man and coming on strong with her text messages. And you can't tell me otherwise. That is not how you talk to your boss. The way she was texting him. The way she was texting him was crazy. The way she was texting him seemed like they had a very good friendship and relationship where these kind of conversations and stuff would be allowed. But then all of a sudden it isn't when she doesn't want them to be. And then this part. On another day, Miss Lively wore a low-cut dress to facilitate breastfeeding, but had it covered up with a coat. When the jacket briefly popped open at one point to reveal the dress, Mr. Baldoni commented on how much he liked her outfit, which flustered Miss Lively. Complimenting you, telling you how much he liked your outfit that you went over budget for by $500,000? I'm like, somebody better like your outfit, girl, because nobody else did. Nobody else liked any of your wardrobe choices. You made such a huge deal, Blake, over the wardrobe that you went over budget $500,000. And him telling you that he likes your outfit after all of the stuff, all of the backlash you got when first looks were released by Sony. Then he's trying to comfort you and tell you that, okay, I like your outfit. It flustered you. Should we rewind and watch all of your PR tour when that's all you did was talk about the outfits and fashion? But somebody saying they like your outfit flustered you? We continue. Later that day, Mr. Baldoni pressured Miss Lively, who was in her pre-approved wardrobe, to remove her coat in front of the crew and multiple background actors in a packed bar. He said that he wanted to see her onesie under the coat because it was zipped low to reveal her lace bra. Did he say that? Because they're saying they have it on camera. Did he ask you as the director to take off your freaking winter coat because everyone was in a bar and all of the cast was in onesies? So it would make sense that your character was supposed to be in a onesie? And you could watch the movie back and there's no bra showing, honey. There's no bra showing. But he said, oh, yeah. Did he say that or did you make that up? Did you make that up or did he actually say it? Now I need to know because something tells me you concocted that one in your head by replaying moments that you were trying to like get Justin Baldoni. Consistent with past practice, he said, I think you look sexy in a tone that made me feel oogled and exposed. With other female cast members present, she said, that's not what I'm going for. He bristled and replied, I'm sorry, hot? Deeply uncomfortable. Miss Lively said, not that either. Mr. Baldoni responded sarcastically, I guess I missed the HR meeting, and walked away. Like, not everything is an avalanche. Not everything is like, yeah, because then she says, another woman on the production spoke to Miss Lively afterward to offer empathy and to share her own similar experiences with Mr. Baldoni, commenting about her in sexual terms. What? I think some of y'all have never had like platonic guy friends and like it shows because how is one time you're sending him 14-page text messages at 2 a.m, loving up on this man, and then he compliments you and you're taking it as like the grossest, most severe violation a woman could ever go through? I wish getting a compliment was the biggest violation I've ever suffered. Now from Justin Baldoni's and the Wayfarer, from the Wayfarer, I should say, the Wayfarer Party's amended complaint. Let's see about the word sexy. Here we go. Lively herself set the tone for personal discussions on set, including what language was acceptable. For example, on one occasion while filming a restaurant scene, Lively sat on the floor in painfully expensive shoes while discussing with a group of male cast and crew how sexy her shoes were. Lively had no issue using the word sexy herself, but apparently took note both times Justin Baldoni said the word in her presence. Then we have here, while Baldoni and Wayfarer clearly agreed that co-workers should respect physical space, Lively's constant confusion or references to her character as played by Lily, as opposed to Lively herself, became problematic and interfered with production. You can tell this in all of her interviews and all of her PR and everything that she was playing Blake Lively. You can tell in the dance montage that she was not playing a character, she was Blake Lively. This was caused in large part by Lively's persistent desire to direct and inability to accept direction. For example, her allegation that Baldoni inappropriately called her sexy was in fact a reference to a scene where everyone was wearing onesies, but Lively was covering her onesie with a big coat. Baldoni, her director, asked that she take the big coat off so that her onesie would be visible in the scene. Baldoni said that it will be hot, as it was 90 degrees in the small bar with no air conditioning. That doesn't matter. If you are wearing a big jacket and the scene calls for all of the cast to be in onesies, and your director says, take the jacket off, we're ready to shoot, rehearsals and blocking are over, I need you in your onesie, you take the freaking jacket off because you are in your pre-approved wardrobe, the onesie. Okay, there's no argument. He doesn't need to be like, coddle you and coerce you into doing it. He's the director, and if you have a problem with it, you talk to wardrobe. And then wardrobe comes in and fixes you up. He shouldn't even have to give you a reason why. He's the director. But of course, they're walking on eggshells around Blake Lively because she is a tyrant. Lively mischaracterizes this in her complaint as Baldoni referring to her personally as hot, using the slang meaning of the term. Given that Lively herself had earlier expressed to him that she wanted her character's wardrobe to be sexier, Baldoni encouraged her to accept direction by saying it's sexy, meaning that without the big coat, the wardrobe was sexier, as Lively had said she wanted it to be. Lively took this personally. She was unable to take the direction, later alleging his behavior was inappropriate regarding her self-chosen wardrobe, stating, "That's not what I'm going for." Baldoni, recognizing that she may have taken his direction personally and appeared offended, apologized more than once. His statements were immediately followed by his gesture that she had something in her teeth and a request for someone to, on set, go and get her a toothpick. This exchange, all of which is captured on camera, demonstrates how ludicrous and deliberately malicious Lively's allegations are. Period. Mic drop. That's it. It's on camera. It was all captured. It was all captured, girl. So are you sure? Are you sure that's really how it happened? We're going to see. We're going to see it. Now, over the weekend, I was watching movies. I watch a lot of movies, guys. A lot of movies, okay? And of course, right? Of course I do. Actually, last night I went and saw Weapons. Girl, it was a good one. It was a good one. But over the weekend, I just played out of nowhere this movie called Drop. Had no idea what it was about. Had no idea nothing about it. Started off pretty cool. Liked the character right away. The acting was phenomenal. It was shot so good. I loved it. And then all of a sudden, who sits in frame on my screen? Brandon Sklenar. Brandon Sklenar. Brandon Sklenar. I gotta say, I was immediately turned off. I was like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Why are you on my screen? I wanted to turn the movie off immediately. I got that impulse. I felt like a traitor continuing to watch it. And then I ended up shutting it off. And then a couple of days later, I finished it because it was actually a really good movie and the acting is really good. And he honestly is a really good actor, guys. However, I do not forgive him for what he did to Wayfarer and Justin Baldoni. But when I watched it, I was very happy that I still watched it, or I wouldn't have caught this little monologue.
I found myself in a pretty messed up situation not long ago. And somebody I really trusted ended up being somebody totally different. And for a long time, people were getting hurt. Really good people were getting hurt. And I stayed silent and I didn't say anything. And then I finally did, and I tried to do the right thing, whatever I thought the right thing was. Whatever that is. And I still found myself feeling guilty about it, you know?
He goes on to say, that's what they do. They take hope away. And that scene really got me thinking of, wow, was that drawn from any personal experiences? Because, you know, as actors, we do draw from personal experiences when we're trying to attach emotion and backstory. And I wonder if that was method acting or not. But Brandon, it's never too late to do the right thing or stand up for justice and stand up for Wayfarer and Justin and do the right thing and tell your side of the events and what happened all throughout that PR and how did Blake and Ryan get their claws into you. I'm sure you have information. You were there. It's never too late. And now, before we get into Perez Hilton in Nevada, there was something else that I was just like, it wasn't sitting with me. It hasn't been sitting with me since I read it in her second amended complaint, because it's the only text message that she has shown on her side, and it actually came from Ryan Reynolds. Let's look at it real quick. And it's this, when she's trying to say, Blake Lively is trying to say that she didn't do nothing. There was no smear campaign. She never smeared Justin or Wayfarer. No. She was quiet. She was quiet. And it says, moreover, Miss Lively expressly instructed her publicist, Leslie Sloan, not to engage with press inquiries, including ones regarding the onset behavior of Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath, or Wayfarer. In other words, Miss Lively's instructions to her publicist were the opposite of a smear or exposing him, even while she believed he was behind the attacks on her. Mr. Reynolds confirmed that instruction to Miss Lively's publicist on August 13th and again on August 29th, directing her to continue to remain quiet and not do anything to shape any stories, whether positive or negative, reiterating an instruction that both he and Miss Lively had given to her verbally at the premiere of the film in Denmark on August 9th. Do not talk to anyone about any of the attacks on Blake. But funny enough, she doesn't show any of her text message where she expressly instructed her publicist. You would think that if Miss Lively expressly instructed her publicist not to engage with press inquiries, she would submit emails, text messages, like she would show those receipts. But no, she shows this screenshot. Okay, so who knows if this is even real, because it isn't coming from an actual redactor to pull from phones. This is just a screenshot. To me, it looks fake. I don't know about y'all, but this is from Ryan Reynolds to Leslie Sloan. Where are the texts from Blake to Leslie Sloan where it says she expressly told her not to do anything? It says right here, Miss Lively expressly instructed, but yet she shows text messages, two from Ryan Reynolds, and it just says, yes, one was on August 29th. It says, hi, sorry to bother you, but this is clogging my inbox. I'm not answering. And then again on she was messaging him on October 23rd, which we don't see. And it's just one thing where he says, thanks for sending. It's imperative we stay silent on everything and speak to nobody. As I mentioned in Denmark before Blake's premiere, to not talk to anyone about any of these attacks on Blake, just making sure you haven't done that at any point. I think this is sweet. Bart said this, but the only thing to do is remain quiet for now. Okay, I have not per your instructions, she says on, she's saying that they talked on August 9th, and she said that she was directed not to do nothing. Interesting. It only takes a few minutes to Google search any articles coming out in August, which clearly state that sources coming from Blake Lively's camp are stating things like this. Blake Lively fears her career is over after she was accused of being a manipulative bully. The disturbing truth behind why Blake Lively and her It Ends With Us stars are feuding with Justin Baldoni. Justin Baldoni was chauvinistic and borderline abusive on the set of It Ends With Us, and sparked fury over his refusal to consider the perspective of co-star Blake Lively's character while filming scenes that depicted abuse, insiders have claimed. The real reason Ryan Reynolds jumped in to save wife Blake Lively's new film It Ends With Us from disaster as Justin Baldoni drama reaches fever pitch. Ryan Reynolds jumped in to save wife Blake Lively's new film. It wasn't her film. Like, it's not her film. If she didn't like what was going on, she could have quit. That's what you do at jobs, okay? It wasn't her film. Ugh, I digress. But how he jumped in from disaster as he felt he owed her after she sacrificed her career to raise their children as his Hollywood star power grew. This is coming also from sources of Blake Lively. Blake Lively's new film, It Ends With Us, from disasters, Justin Baldoni. See? And look who it's written from. James Vituska, the Daily Mail. The same James Vituska, yes, who knows what's going on with him, but he came in and he said that he was talking to Leslie Sloan. She said that, Justin Baldoni sexually assaulted. And then Leslie Sloan was like, no, take that back. I never said that. And then James Vituska was like, okay, she never said that. And then Leslie Sloan got dismissed. And then there was rumors that James Vituska was like under duress when he had to write that. And that's why he like no longer works here, blah, 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 blah. Who still knows what's going on with that? But clearly Blake's camp was talking to press. So the fact that she's just so freely able to lie about something like this is, to me, crazy. And now we enter the courts of Nevada, where Perez Hilton duking it out and fighting for his rights and for the rights of journalists and the integrity of content creators. Just to show you what is happening, it's on the screen now. July 28th, Perez Hilton filed the motion to quash. Then he also filed some motions under seal. Then a judge came on board. The judge was randomly assigned to Judge Richard F. Balware. And then there was other stuff happening. There was some documents that were filed. There is proof of service to the motion to quash by Perez. There is a notice regarding non-opposition. They had a minute in chambers just to discuss all of the stuff that was happening. Then on August 15th, there was a certificate of service again, and that was a motion to quash where he has a lot of exhibits in there. And then on August 18th, there is a motion to quash in opposition. It is a response by Blake Lively. And now we have Perez Hilton, who came back. Okay, he came back and he was like, he had an answer for them. And then they had a minute in chambers, and that happened today. So not sure what happened in there. I can't get to it, but I just want to look over Blake's reply just very quickly, just the intro, because I think she says some things that are a little unhinged, but let's just read it quickly together. Perez Hilton is a social media personality who has described himself as the original influencer since August of 2024. Mr. Hilton has created more than 500 pieces of video content about the same number of posts of sensational headlines, almost entirely disparaging about actress and entrepreneur Blake Lively for reporting sexual harassment on the set of a film It Ends With Us. Ms. Lively initiated the underlying litigation in connection with the sexual harassment she and others experienced on the set of the film, and a subsequent smear campaign launched against her in the retaliation for speaking out. When did she speak out? Which caused the smear campaign in August. She's saying it started in August, but she never spoke out about it. You know what, guys? If there even was a smear campaign, it was because you and your husband were acting crazy. You took over the man's movie. You had them sit in a freaking basement. Okay? They never heard anything about you or about this until December of 2024 when you filed your CRD complaint. If you've had complaints in August or during the, edit or during all of the reasons why you took the man's movie over, show it now or forever hold your peace, because nothing happened. They were proactive because you and your husband were going crazy, okay? But again, she's dragging other people into this that others faced. Jenny, the man-beater Slate, and Isabella Ferrer. Under the underlying litigation alleges that the Wayfarer defendants began to perpetrate the retaliatory campaign in mid-August of 2024 and have continued to do so through the present by example, encouraging third-party online content creators, including but not limited to Mr. Hilton, to spread disparaging and false. Show me a lie. Show me a lie. Show me a lie. Maybe spreading true stuff. I still have not seen where anybody's been lying. Okay? Narratives about Miss Lively, including that she is a liar and a bully who invented her claim in order to achieve power and control over the film. First of all, we were talking about publicly filed complaints in the court that Justin Baldoni, he filed against you. We got the receipts. Perez Hilton was talking about the filings that Justin Baldoni put in. And now if you go back to when Blake Lively first filed her CR complaint, he was on Blake's. He was saying what Justin was doing to Blake, what she alleged he was doing. And then, like everyone, when Justin dropped receipts, the tides turned. Okay? And you still can't rebut anything that Justin's put in his claims yet. Interesting. Mr. Hilton began parroting those talking points in August of 2024 and continues to do so to this day, publicly declaring that Miss Lively's allegations of retaliation are non-existent and that she is a bully who lies and is trying to silence Justin Baldoni. Show me the lie. Show me. I think that's exactly what is happening to this day. Mr. Hilton's videos are punctuated by name-calling Miss Lively, coining mocking terms for her, including blackface Blake, lying Lively, Ku Klux Khaleesi, and litigation litigious, litigious Lively, has admitted and then she says, defendant tag, and that's what we're going to get to, has admitted in sworn interrogatory responses that Mr. Hilton is one of the content creators who seeded, generated, created, or influenced social media content or provided related digital or social media services directly or indirectly at the request of or on behalf of any Wayfarer party or their agents or affiliates. Neither Mr. Hilton nor the Wayfarer defendants nor their counsel deny that they have communicated with each other about Miss Lively throughout the last year. Miss Lively has been attempting to obtain those communications for many months, including from the Wayfarer defendant, but Miss Lively has yet not received a single one. And now through both this motion and a motion for a protective order he filed in the issuing court, Mr. Hilton seeks to preclude Miss Lively from learning which pieces among the avalanche of derogatory content described above were created at the request of or on behalf of the Wayfarer defendants, which documents discovered already closed. Miss Lively finds herself in a circular shell game designed to keep the retaliation scheme, in their words, untraceable. Then they go on to ask that, they don't even have to look. This judge, don't worry about it. He doesn't have to consider the merits of the motion and could and should instead transfer this motion for purposes of judicial economy and federal economy to the issuing court, which is posed to rule on Mr. Hilton's request for relief in connection with the subpoena. So she's like, you know what, Judge? You don't even have to look at the merits of this. You don't need to know the case, the court. Don't worry about the subpoena. You just go over and give it, just transfer this to my boy, Lyman. We're good. He's already ready to rule on Mr. Hilton's request for relief in connection with the subpoena. If the court chooses to consider the motion's merits, it should reject them as baseless. Not only should the court deny the motion, it should compel Mr. Hilton to produce all materials responsive to the subpoena within 7 days of this order. During the filming, Ms. Lively reported on set sexual harassment and misconduct, including that Baldoni divulged information about his sex life, made derogatory, degrading, and sexual comments, described his own genitalia, improvised unwanted intimacy that had not been rehearsed, choreographed, or discussed with Ms. Lively in advance, added graphic content to the script, including multiple new scenes with nudity and on-camera orgasm, and added unscripted nudity to a birthing scene for which he cast his friend as Lively's OBGYN. Where are the reports? Where are the reports? Still haven't seen any. Haven't seen any reports yet, which I think is kind of crazy. But now let's go up here where they say, okay, right here. This is, I thought, eye-catching, okay? When they say defendant tag, a public relations firm that specializes in crisis communications, has admitted in sworn interrogatory responses that Mr. Hilton is one of the content creators who seeded, generated, created, or influenced social media content or provided related digital or social media services directly or indirectly at the request of or on behalf of any Wayfarer party or their agents or affiliates. Now, I want you to tell me whether or not you think this is what that answer is, because what? This is the agency group's responses and objection to Blake Lively's set of interrogatories. Whatever the freaking word is, okay? But it's right here. Identify all reporters and news or media outlets of any kind with whom you have communicated directly or indirectly in any manner concerning Miss Lively, Mr. Reynolds, the CRD complaint, the actions, or the Lively Reynolds companies from June 15th, 2024 to the present. The response. Responding party incorporates by reference its general objections as if fully set forth in response of this interrogatory. Responding party objects to this interrogatory to the extent it is not proportional to the needs of the case or relevant to the claim or defense of any party. Responding party further objects to this interrogatory on the grounds that it is overbroad. Responding party further objects to the interrogatory on the grounds that it is vague as to reporters, news or media outlets, and communicated. Responding party further objects to the interrogatory to the extent that it exceeds the scope of local rule 33.3, local civil rule. Subject to and without waiving the foregoing objections, responding party responds. Look at all the people: Daily Mail, TMZ, CNN, Variety, GMA, The Hollywood Reporter, E! News, People, New York Post, Business Insider, Deadline, Puck, Los Angeles Times, Us Weekly, Do Moi, Billy Bush, Candace Owens, Perez Hilton. Where does it say that they have seeded, generated, or created content for Wayfarer? Perez has come back and answered yesterday, and he says that the court is asked to enforce a sweeping subpoena against the non-party Nevada resident and journalist. I have no stake in the underlying litigation between Miss Lively and the Wayfarer defendants, nor have I ever received compensation from the Wayfarer or any affiliated party. I am not a litigant. I am a non-party media reporter exercising my First Amendment rights to cover matters of public interest. In this instance, a real-life story of David versus Goliath, with Goliath being Miss Lively and her A-list husband. This touches upon themes of power, corruption, and alleged abuse by the plaintiff against Mr. Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties, all of the great interest to the followers of my reporting and the greater public at large. Speak! Tell them! Tell the people in the back. Rule 45 Nevada law and the federal common law reporter's privilege all protect me from being conscripted into this dispute. Ms. Lively's opposition recycles rhetoric designs to brand me as an influencer rather than acknowledge my well-established role as a journalist. But the law protects my reporting regardless of labels. Importantly, I am not refusing to cooperate with the judicial process. I respect this court's authority, and while I cannot disclose privileged information such as sources and unpublished materials, I've offered Ms. Lively to provide testimony by deposition, declaration, affidavit, or trial appearance. My position is not one of defiance, but of respect for the law and the duties that come with being a journalist. This subpoena is overbroad, disproportionate, and harassing. It seeks private communications with sources, unpublished material, and privileged content. Worse still, Ms. Lively has previously filed court papers publicly revealing non-parties' personal addresses and sensitive information, demonstrating a reckless disregard for my privacy and safety to others. The risk of further injustice underscores why this court must quash the subpoena outright. And then it does go on. But I just want to bring up what they are asking for, and it is absolutely nuts. So the request number 1 is all communications between you and the Wayfarer parties directly target unpublished journalistic material and confidential sources. All documents relating to your coverage of Ms. Lively, captures, drafts, editorial decisions, and unpublished notes. Do you know how many notes and drafts and ideas and messages I've had? And I'm not Perez, right? I'm just a small little indie creator. Every day, I'm just like, when you just think of things, you just write ideas. I have like monologues written out, like things that you do. Like, this is crazy. You don't get all of this information, especially unpublished drafts. My gosh. That's where they had me. I was like, no. All communications with any third party regarding Miss Lively, limitless scope, intruding into work product sources. So then he goes on, and it's a really good, like, congratulations to Perez. Yep, slayed, absolutely slayed. And for his sake, I hope it does get quashed in Nevada, because he's already gone over there in the Southern District of New York and really pissed off Judge Lyman. So I'm hoping that the judge in Nevada just quashes this right away. However, just kind of knowing what happened with Brian Freeman and his actual law firm, where they had like the best of the best lawyers defending and trying to get their motion to quash on the subpoenas to their law firm by Blake Lively, which, can we just say like right away how absolutely ridiculous that was too? This girl is over here subpoenaing over 107 content creators. Plus, there was like over 40 people from the Wayfarers, like employees and stuff like that. Plus, the opposing counsel. And that's not harassment. But the Wayfarer people trying to subpoena one actress who was on the set that Blake Lively talked about over 60 times in her CRD complaint that's harassment. I'm really just trying to wrap my head around that, I guess. But that's it for me. That's all I kind of just been thinking of in the last day. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. That's all I kind of just been thinking of in the last day. Just like all of these little things that have come to me, and people send me like little tidbits or things to like talk about. And yeah, that's just, I don't know where I was going when I started this video, but I just knew I had to like look into a few things and really, get down to the bottom of this. I mean, what is going on? I'm praying for Perez Hilton. I hope it works out for him. I'm also praying for all of the Wayfarer people and Justin Baldoni, because I mean, even having now Isabella Ferrer, I mean, even just submit that letter, disgusting. Like, it's gross. How can you just turn your back on someone like this? Like, if you don't want to be involved, say you don't want to be involved, take the subpoena, file your motions to quash, do whatever you got to do. But like, I don't know, calling him an abuser and harasser and like all of that stuff over a subpoena that you already complied for with Blake Lively. I mean, it's just, to me, it's like absolutely distasteful and so gross, especially how we know how her conduct was before doing PR with Blake Lively. Now, you have to remember, they were never on set together. Never on set together. And before the PR tour, they had met 2 times. And then all of a sudden, sleepovers, clothes, trips, dinners, going to movie premieres, Deadpool and Wolverine, Taylor Swift, meeting Gigi Hadid, da-da-da. That sounds like grooming to me. That sounds like love bombing to me. That sounds like I'm gonna reel you in so I can whisper in your ear and tell you what to think and be on my side to me. But yes, anyway, that's it for me. Y'all were just so sweet yesterday when I told you guys I was going on a date, a first date. It went well. It was good. I didn't know anything about this man's before. He approached me outside of a bar last week. I was out on a friend's birthday and just, it was kind of crazy. Okay, let me tell you. I'm out there. We had just finished dinner and having cocktails and stuff. We're going out for my girl's birthday. We're sitting outside on these couches. We're about to take some pictures, whatever. I see this man. He's like waiting in line to go to this bar that I just like walked out of, this restaurant. And I was like, damn, damn, who's that man? Who's that boy? And he looked at me and I looked at him and I was like, oh gosh, and then I turned back around. He's walking up to me and I was like, ah, like, oh my gosh. And yeah, I don't really get excited like over 98% of men, but sometimes there's just a little bit where I'm like, okay, maybe, there's just something about a very few men that can get me to like, get excited or, whatever. And to like melt pretty much, if you've ever had that feeling. So he comes up and he like says to the girls, he's like, hello, ladies. Y'all are so beautiful. I just want to say straight away, you guys all look so beautiful. And then he points to me and he's like, but I need to get to know you. I want to take you out for dinner. Can I have your phone number? Just like that. I'm like, yeah, okay, here you go. Like, I don't know. I would never. It was so rare for me. Anyway, I give him my number. We introduce ourselves. And then I say like, oh, do you want, let me put my last name in too. So you could like look me up on social media, like do your research, whatever. And he's like, why do I need to look at your social media when I'm going to have you across the table with me at dinner? I was just like, is this boy okay? So anyway, that night we were supposed to meet up, like, because we were all going to the same place, but then we ended up leaving, et cetera, whatever. The next day he calls, no text, calls, and is like, hey, beautiful, what's up? I just want to know, like, what day's good for you? I'm like, yeah, pretty much this week's kind of open at night. And he's like, great, Tuesday at 7, I'm going to send you the reservations. He's like, if you like, I can pick you up, and I understand that might be weird. So you could just meet there. What area do you live in? So I tell him what area I live in. He makes reservations just like close in my hood in Midtown. So I don't know anything about this man's. I was like, first name only. I was like, I'm in the season of yes. I'm in the season of the universe giving me what I want. I'm in the season of fun. I'm in the season of being taken out. I'm in the season of princess treatment. I'm in the season of love and new experiences and just like it was hot girl summer 2025, because last summer I was in a mad depression and didn't think I was going to make it. So this year, yes, I am celebrating me. Okay. So I just said yes. So, and I'm telling my family, I don't know how old this man's is. Like this guy, he could be like, I just hope he's old and like, I just hope he's like old enough. Anyway, we went out. It was a great time. It was really fun. I am quite older than him. He is in his mid-20s. So my Lord, oh my gosh. But yeah, we had a good time. We had dinner. We walked around. We got gelato. We went to go see a movie out of nowhere. We were just walking by the theater and he's like, want to go see a movie? I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Hello, sir. He drove me home. He was a real gentleman. He was very nice. Chivalry is not dead. Let me tell you, he made sure to walk on this right side of the street, that he protected me. He brought this big umbrella because it was raining. He held over me, like little things like that. He opened the car door for me. He pulled out the chair for me at dinner. These are all little things that like I was clocking, but it's not serious. It was just something really fun. And I had a great time. I was laughing a lot and I got to see a really good movie that I wanted to see and I filled my belly. So all good, but thank you so much. You guys were all just so cute with those messages. And yeah, I'm just trying to live like my best life and say yes to the things that I want to say yes to and have fun and, be taken out and spoiled. Why not? Let's go. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to And I'm not looking for anything serious. Actually, I'm just looking for someone to have fun with and a companion, who wants to do fun things. Other than that, I'm not looking for nothing else other than that, to be honest. But that's just a little bit about me. I hope y'all are having a great day. I'm honestly having a really, really good week. I think what I'll do here is just like pull a little card like we used to. I haven't done in a while, and see what comes up. And hopefully we can go the rest of the evening or the week with that in mind. Let's see. I think I've pulled this. Oh, this is a good one. I pulled the other one before, but this one I've never seen it before, and it's, wow. Take a look around. You're lucky as shit. Remember that. I do. I feel like so grateful every single day. I made it through storms that I never thought that I would. I'm living a life that I kind of always dreamed of, no matter what scale of it. I get to be here and I get to film every day and be on camera and tell stories and inspire and entertain, as well as educate maybe at the same time, and empower, which are like 4 of like my biggest things that like fuel my heart. And I never take for granted how unbelievably grateful I am every day to wake up. And a little trick that got me into staying open and loving, even though I've been burned, and still here working on my craft and working on movies after hearing like 10,000 no's, and just like being here, is every day. It's like just a little trick. When I wake up, as soon as I open my eyes, I say, it's going to be a good day. Today's going to be a good day. I am so ready to have a good day. Let's see what kind of amazing day I can have today. I just know today is going to be a good day. And I just like say that over and over and over and over until I'm like, okay, let's go. And if it doesn't come to me, or if I feel like I wake up and I'm still like, oh, and I look in the mirror and I'm not liking what I see, or I don't love what I see, or anything like that, I bring my butt back to bed for like 20 minutes, get over whatever I was feeling, and then I do it again. But I always try to wake up and like kind of dare myself to have like an amazing day. And then I do a lot of the days, So yeah, just gratitude and joy and love, and always seeking God and peace in oneself. It'll change your life. I swear to God, it will change your life. But yeah, I'm just forever grateful. And I'm so grateful to each and one of you. Like your comments, this community, I'm just so beyond grateful and blessed to all of you. So thank you so much. I hope you're having a great week. Honestly, I know this video is a little beep, all over the place, but so am I. But yeah, members only is going to be open this week. I'm trying to get to it. It's a new kind of adventure to me, so I'm getting it all ready and set up. Super excited for you to be joining me on Tuesdays. It's going to be like kind of like story time, empowering, inspirational kind of motivational talks about like my life, standing in my power, how that's changed, how the universe responded to it. And then on Thursdays is going to be goal setting. So if you have a goal, no matter what it is, every week we're going to meet on Thursdays. I'm going to be going over my goals, the steps, reverse engineering it to how we're going to get there. And hopefully some of our goals and our dreams will come true from it. So it's a little bit of an accountability Thursday. Thank you so much. Drop all your comments as always. On Friday, we'll be going over them. I love you. Have the best day. I will talk to you soon. Bye.